All right, well, everyone, welcome. Anyone has any questions about the topic? I'm sure it's presented in many, many ways. I haven't listened to anybody in a while, uh, but this is how it's been distilled in my little whiskey factory, my little winery over the years. I'm down to one page in my spiritual scripture. Here it is. There it is, right there. Wow, wow. Yeah. I've run into these things at times. I forgot a lot of things, a lot of the stories we've used. Someone reminded me of the snake in the skin the other day. Have you heard that one? No, you haven't. Okay, here you go. So there's a snake, yes? And obviously part of the snake is skin. Yeah. And then there's the skin of the snake. Now the skin of the snake thinks it's the whole snake. Yeah, following me? So the skin is broadcasting. It's got access to the theater. What happened here? Hmm. Let's see. It gets access to the theater, so there's two voices usually playing. So here's the skin's voice, and then there's the snake's voice. Snake's voice is rarely heard. And every year, as you know, a snake molts the skin, yes? It's not an effort on its part. It's if at anything it observes it. Yeah. And part of it, obviously, is after a year of trucking around on the skin, it's gotten a little dirty, has a couple of cuts and scrapes, some holes maybe. It's dull, so it's not that very attractive to female snakes. And it's sort of like a tire with a 40,000, mile warranty. It's time to go. So the skin reacts to that as if it's going to be the death of it. Yeah. Because it takes the skin to be the whole snake. And it's living as if it's the whole snake. And it sees this situation as a dire threat. What's happening here? Something's going on. No, something's happening on there.
You might be getting bombed by somebody named Dahlia.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Something's coming up, like a white paper.
Oh,
Yep, Dahlia. If you could kick Dahlia's out.
All right, kick Dahlia out. Yes.
Back in.
There was a very famous movie about a murder in LA, and the lady name was Dahlia, and she was found cut in half. Do you ever hear that one? They have a movie called The Black Dahlia, I think, and it's about this woman. Obviously, she doesn't play any role, but as a two-parted corpse, and it's a mystery about how that happened and before. Interesting movie. So just to block the whatever. So here we go again. So the skin in the snake, the skin is going to be falling off. And obviously, the skin program is really blasting away as Armageddon and everything. So the skin is telling the snake, do not go outside. Don't go anywhere. Don't get caught on that rock. Don't do any more. Get a lot of moisturizer, stuff like that. It wants to do almost anything to keep the skin in, though the the losing of the skin is going to be beneficial to the snake. Yes? Don't you see? So this is sort of the case with the voice in one's head. The voice in one's head is playing the role of the skin, and you're the unsuspected snake. Yeah. So the skin's playing in your little snake radio station, and it's playing all of these threats that are seen from the position of the skin. Seen from the snake, it's like a hallelujah. Yeah. So sort of this is what it's like. So the head is broadcasting as the skin, and it will do anything, and it's trying to motivate you to do anything to suspend this its end and all this and all that. And yet, for the snake, it would be very, very, very fortunate, and the skin's going to go no matter what. Yeah. So this is sort of the head, and then what we are in a sense. So the head is broadcasting in a very large open theater. Yeah. Uh, the true broadcast is the silence, yeah. And now there's a voice broadcasting in the silence, and it's talking about a self-centered situation, and you're the star of it, yeah. The non-existent thing is taken to be the existent thing. So most of your news is peppered with uh, preserving and prolonging and promoting the skin at the expense of the snake, yeah. So it's really cool to watch when the head reacts to the message of non-duality. Yeah. Because most people think the head's reaction to the message of non-duality was their reaction to the message of non-duality. It is not your reaction to the message of non-duality. Yeah. Yeah. And non-duality has a beautiful way. I think it brings the shit out of the weeds the best I've ever ran into, because most things by now have been co-opted, and the Buddhism is meant to fit around the skin of the snake. Yeah. Yeah. All the self-help things are about prolonging or changing the complexion of the skin, but not questioning the reality of being identified as it. Yeah. So basically, at this point, most stuff has been co-opted, but non-duality stands alone, in my view, because it's nothing. It can't be touched. There's nothing new in non-duality. Every year goes by. You could hear a talk from us 16 years ago. It sounds just like yesterday, because basically, if you don't see this, you're looking from it. Yeah. If you don't see the skin from the snake, you're gonna take what the skin thinks the snake is. Yeah. And you're gonna live from the skin at the expense of the snake. And in this case, we see the skin and all of its little antics from the snake. And we see that the snake is not only, it is not the skin. Yes? Yeah. But most of us, we've already started at we the first like recognition of what we are is a chant of what we're not, literally. Yeah. When you call hearing, and you claim, and there's a claiming of that, and you call yourself the hearer, that is the manufactured point. Yes. And at that point, it doesn't matter what you hear. You're looking from, or you're hearing it from the hearer. Yeah, you're hearing it from that hearer point of view. The point, what non-duality to me does is questions the hearer, not all the things you're hearing, but the hearer of it all. Yeah. And not all the things, we're not trying to create another way of feeling. We're just questioning the feeler. We're not actually, no way am I trying to endorse a new way of thinking. I'm just saying, look at the thinker. And so by doing that, you don't get drawn all out into all the seeking and all the like purple belt, brown belt, black belt, all the hierarchies, all the stuff that every year you get a promotion in your little spiritual like sergeant or lieutenant or whatever. Yeah. So because it's hard to get off a train when it's moving really fast. It's best to just to realize to get off it at the station. Save you a lot of trouble. So uh, I found non-duality. Maybe it was the timing when I heard it, but I found that non-duality brought out all the misunderstandings into stark contrast. Yeah, yeah. There was a in recovery. We say
Yeah.
you have to fit yourself around life, not you stop trying to fit life around you and you fit yourself around life. Yep. So I remember a group of people were starting a very, very expensive rehab in Thailand, where there are many in this town, in the city near Chiang Mai, the city called Chiang Mai. And for some reason, this French uh, this French headhunter got in touch with me because he had been listening to the talks and wanted to promote me as a program director for this new rehab. Yeah. So I got so they called me and I said, I'll talk with them. I don't mind. And I tried to say I would emphasize service, yeah, in the program. And then they said, "Oh, so we should we tailor a service for every patient?" I said, "No, you should put every patient into service." Yeah, yeah. And I imagined that the money they were charging had them looking at it the first way, which is let's fit a certain service plan to fit the contours of the patient instead of stuffing whatever
Shut
contour
the
the
fuck
patient is
up,
in into
Judy.
yeah. So Michael's very good at knocking these people down. I'm happy I become a target again. I was sort of free for a while, and so I must have I must have insulted something like SpongeBob or something because they sound like they're from the 9 to 12 age set. They're truly caught in PG, but they want to have an R rating, so they're like, yeah, 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 yeah. So, yeah. So I humbly feel I had no idea how this was going to pan out when I went to that first talk in non-duality. None idea. But I had a feeling to go back to the second one. Even though I didn't really hear anything the lady said, she was very soft spoken and it was in a park in Berkeley outside. So I went back and just the willingness to go back had me introduced to other possibilities. And then I heard a few people and some of them I liked. And someone told me, I don't know how, to get this book by Ramesh Balsekar, which was called Who Cares, which I think was a great title. Yeah. Who Cares? And I read it, and there was a lot of pauses that I didn't take, but I was the effect of. Something paused me a lot. And I would just stop. And sometimes I wouldn't go any farther, but I would get stopped quite a lot. And then there would be like a rock slide of ideas, old ideas, or avalanche or something. And it motivated me so much, I decided to go to India to see the guy because he was 85 years old. And basically, uh, I was convinced on certain levels that led to more being convinced later. But I was convinced. One of the first ones was like, I felt like it was an unspoken yes. Yeah. I felt something when I was in satsang, and there was a yes from whatever I am. And that became like an unspoken yes. And it was an uninterrupted yes. And I went, and Ramesh was a guy who had been a translator for another man called Nisargadatta Maharaj. He had drove him around a lot. And he emphasized, he was into the personal doership thing. Yeah. He figured if you could see if you're not a personal doer, it would open you up to a lot of other info. Yeah. You don't have to get a lot of info in non-duality. It's a very little bit of info, and then there's a huge opening up. Yeah, there's a huge download. You don't study a huge download to get a small opening up. This is a small invitation, and then it's a large, yeah, a large thing. And it's sort of like it's like a big bang with a lot of bangs. Yeah. So there's the big bang, maybe. Wow, I'm not that. And then there's bangs along the way. And the fuses aren't long. They're not like 3 feet or 4 feet. They're like maybe less than a sentence. You are what you're looking for. Boom. Yeah. It's not like a 800-page thesis. It's like a very quick, the statement lights the fuse and something happens. Yeah. And then you come back, let's say, to this satsang, and you don't understand why, you don't like the guy or whatever it is, but something keeps bringing you back. And it's not me, obviously. So the fuse gets lit and the thing goes off. You can't regroup. Yeah. You get stunned with you can't use the Buddhist to seek the Buddha, and then bam, before before the mercury of you regrouped, there's an explosion of emptiness. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very cool. And then this regroups again, but something's different. Yes. And you realize a lot of stuff. But one of the realizations I had, for me to be what I am, this doesn't have to stop. What I'm not doesn't have to stop to be what I am. Has nothing to do with stopping it because I am being what I am. And if you could see like a huge space with a little activity appearing in it, yeah, that's sort of like what you're not is. It's a little activity appearing in it, but what it has done in a sense, somehow it's almost like a magic trick. Your interest and attention has been tunnelized, yeah, tunnelized into a self-centered view. So whatever you see is seen as how it pertains to you, you see? So whatever gets seen is given more meaning from the you than what you're seeing. You're not receiving much meaning. You're just getting a bounce back of the meaning the head is projecting. Yes? And there's just a lot of confirmation bias going on. Huge amount. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. And sometimes, like, present the head like 30 books to study. It'll go right for that. But the sudden knockout punch, it doesn't know exactly how to get over that. Yeah. Because it's obvious it's knocked out. And so when it regroups, it's a little bit more self-conscious about its authenticity. Yeah, it's very loose. And then you go to another one, whatever can be perceived can't be that which is perceiving. Boom, it gets whacked. And after a while, one of the times when it regroups, you still see it as the emperor with no clothes. So one of the times it puts some clothes on, you still see it without any clothes. Yeah. And then I feel that is sort of a foundation now. Yeah. And the important work has done. There's been a loss of interest in you sufficiently to produce an effect before the interpretation of the effect. Yeah. So right now, something happens and there's no time rushing you out of that happening to an interpretation of it. You're in the moment seemingly. Yeah. So when I'm seeing, I'm aware I'm seeing. Yeah. Yeah. When I'm hearing this, I'm not seeing and I'm not hearing. I'm aware of hearing and I'm aware of seeing and I'm aware of thoughts. The thoughts have gotten, uh, the thoughts were much sharper earlier. Yeah. They had larger, like fucking, like syringes. It's you ever see an old syringe? It was huge. It would like you would no matter how much you loved to shoot drugs, you would have stopped and thought about it. It was like super thick. They were fucking, yeah. So basically the thoughts seem to be rolling around with like little things. Now they've just been rolled, they've just been smoothed over. They just tumble, yeah. They just tumble in, you notice them, and most of them tumble away. And you really don't come out with any of them ever. They're almost like, well, it's finite, but it seems like an infinite rock slide. And you've seen it before, so you're not really looking at the rocks. Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's a quartz rock slide or a granite rock slide. You sort of got the rock slide aspect of it. So it doesn't matter what quality of the stone. It's yeah. And then I think you may be concerned from where what you're not. You may go to a very enlightened dumb period. Yeah. I'll give it that's like a cushion. You'll feel dumb. You're dumb compared to what you thought was an active intellect. You're dumb concerning that. Yeah. And a lot of times when people look for you for an answer, you don't got it anymore. You just what? You know, do less harm or something. You know, it's just, it's weird. It's weird. If you ever had any expertness in anything, especially spirituality, it's going to be lost, I feel. Yeah. You're not going to be an expert in almost anything because how you thought things were and are, I don't believe is true. Yeah. So, and you just run into a giant question mark. Yeah. Yeah. There's no answer there. Yet you can, it has a lot of shade, actually. You can sit underneath that question mark tree. Yeah. And you know how sometimes it feels really good to sit under a tree? You're going to have that feeling. Yeah. You don't know why. You don't even care about why. I mean, why is about, what size shoe you have, 10 and a half or 11. It's the why has no meaning much anymore. Yeah. So, uh, and I've never met anything that brought this stuff up as succinctly and efficiently as the message of non-duality. I truly believe it's the panacea for the age. Yes. Yeah. Nothing. Because we're inundated with so much information. There's so many people sharing, so many da 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 da. Yeah. Really, you can get overwhelmed. And people, they visit one web page for a second and they leave thinking they know what the topic is. Yeah. Uh, like that thing said, the guy said, knowledge is finite, but knowing is infinite. Yeah. The sense of knowing is better than not better. It's a different uh thing than knowledge. Yes. Knowledge you can get a shelf for, a bookshelf. You can. But knowing it's ephemeral, but you're much more convinced by the knowing than you're going to be convinced through knowledge, I feel. Yeah. Or actually you come to peace. There's needs, you don't have to be thoroughly convinced. There's just, for maybe there's a couple foundational denials of certain things. Once you've gotten to a point of being convinced of that, it's like a slide. Yes. Yeah. You just slide into the other stuff. Yeah. When I was going to satsang, I got to a point where I was convinced that it was futile, yeah, to look for what I am. Yeah. It was very clear. It's futile to look for what I am. I didn't know at that moment, yeah, that which I'm not doesn't get that. That which I'm not is going to keep on trying to understand. Yeah. At first did not get that. And then over time I got it. Yeah. So I believed it was either one or the other. It ain't. There's an activity that's happening in a much larger activity. We seem to be directed and focused on the little activity. Yeah. But the larger activity is readily available at all times. So the panoramic doesn't need to deny the myopic, but the myopic can't see the panoramic. Yeah. So our interest and attention directed in self-centeredness becomes a myopic event. Yeah. And of course, we dream from the myopic event that salvation would be a panoramic event. But we believe that we, as the myopic event, would get that. I don't see that. Yeah. I don't see the myopic has the ability to get the panoramic. But the panoramic sees the myopic very, very clearly. Yeah. You start getting messages from the panoramic about the myopic, and they dispute all the ideas you had about the panoramic from the myopic. They do. They dispute them completely, completely falsify these conceptual ideas that everything wait on you and you fulfilling many, many requirements, like purification or something else. Yeah. It has nothing to do with you. Yeah. We had this today in AA. There's a statement that is very, very important, I feel, in recovery, which is self can't get out of self. Now, it doesn't say what you are can't get out of self, because what you are has never been in self, but it says self can't get out of self. So if what you are is an unsuspected inner resource amongst the what you're nodding all day, yeah, that you is never going to get it, because that you is what we are talking as a self. Yeah. So self can't get out of self, but you have never been in self. So there's no need to get out of it. Yeah. But self can't get out of it. And what most wants to get out of it is self. The you of you sees it. It does. The self of you wants to get out of it. Yeah. The you of you, what you are, doesn't, what you are in seeing it has no oomph to get out of it, because it knows it's not in it. It's not true. Yes. I had that example solidified when I was chanting, I'm not a body, I am free, I am just as God created me. And I realized the only thing that would chant it's not a body is a body. There's no way something that's not a body has any misunderstanding about being a body. It's not a body. So it's not chanting it's not a body. The body is chanting it's not a body to get some relief from being the body. Yeah. That's not a one-off. That's a pattern in spirituality and spiritual seeking. It's the self that wants to find the spirit to get a better advantage as a self. Yes. What's driving seeking? It's not the spirit. The spirit's readily available. It's the head. Yes. The head has a prior presupposed concrete idea of what you are, and is from there the only way it could look at spirit is something else, and then the whole business of spiritual paths occur. What takes a path? Does a spirit take a path? When I'm going to go hiking, is it the spirit that goes to the trail? It's a body. Yes. The spirit has been turned into a body framed idea called spirituality, that, and it relies completely on the body changing, purification, this and that, because the spirit is unchangeable. Yeah. There's absolutely no requirement on the spiritual side. The requirements are on our side all the time. Yes. And because we don't know better, people sell us a lot of shit to know better. Yeah. We don't know better, seemingly, so we are apt to buy shit that says this is how you'll know better. Yeah. Has the shit you did worked? Only to, yes, because they failed. Yeah. All the wanting to arrive worked because it failed. Yeah. Uh, so what's not a body doesn't chant it's not a body. What's not a body isn't looking for itself through a body. What's not a body is not the object you're seeking. You're seeking to reinforce the object you're taking yourself to be. The seeking isn't there to find anything, it's to reinforce the seeker. Yeah. So the seeking and the story is that's going to bring all the relief I need, what I find, but it's actually reinforcing the discomfort and the irritability and the restlessness. Yeah. If you can't see it said by Ramana in the presupposing of a non-existent thing being an existent thing, yeah, and now wanting to get salvation for the existent thing, the spiritual practices themselves are reinforcing the mistake. They're not destroying it. This isn't said from me. It's said from the godfather of non-duality, Ramana Maharshi. Yeah. Do you understand? I don't know. It sounds like he's saying the thing that the head is taking us to be is a non-existent thing. And that which is enlivening the thing is not the thing itself. And we are of that which is enlivening the thing, then, and we are seemingly in the non-existent thing, but we're not of the non-existent thing. And it's super important to have that clear, because if you don't, your spiritual practices claimed as the non-existent thing, as the existent thing, is not doing what you hoped for. They're reinforcing the seeming misunderstanding. They're not clearing it up, other than when they fail. Yeah? So in a sense, they actually have a purpose, but it's not the one we think it is. We're looking for success when the purpose is failure. Yeah. Because it has to fail for the recognition you are what you're looking for. Yeah. Because if you are what you're looking for, you would imagine there's going to be a big drop off in the looking for it. Yes? Don't you think? I don't have to vow and promise to give shit up. You just lose interest in it. There's been a recognition. You stop looking from what you're not, and you've seen it from somewhere, and you realize, oh, that's why all this shit's happening. It's based on its view, which is a bogus view. Yeah. It's trying to graft spirit onto a skin. Yeah. And you see it, haven't you seen it? What was your idea of a spiritual person? A person, definitely. First of all, that was a big mistake. A person, maybe taller, not a short one usually. So the robes would look more, be a bigger highlight. You know, robes on a tall, thin person look like fucking Gandalf and shit. Yeah. Very convincing. Hair, long hair, probably. Straight, not the curly kind. But there's been some exceptions, like Sai Baba with his afro. But basically, probably straight. Speak very slowly. When asked something, take a while to deliver the answer. You know, like you're really going into the Akashic records to bring it out. Yeah, and then basically, definitely a loving gaze. Boy, just looking at people a little bit too much, usually. You know what I mean? If you stare at someone in the subway in New York for that long, you're going to get accosted. Something's going to happen. It's not going to go unpunished. It isn't. That's why in New York you would just look at shoes every time you're in the subway. You would never make eye contact with anyone in the station or in the car, because that was like an invitation to come over. And didn't we concentrate on the giver of the satsang than the satsang that was given? Hmm? Didn't we elevate the person that this water was coming through actually higher than the water itself? Yeah. Setting us up for a deep disappointment when that person showed some, what? I can't believe it, human qualities. Yeah. Yeah. This is all beautiful because it brings up the misunderstanding, and you're in you're in a safe space here. Yeah. Yeah. You can, this gives you the release just to see what you're not. Yeah. By hearing the words of satsang, you'll have an event of seeing what you're not. Yeah. And then the cat's out of the bag. Yeah. Like it's like Ramana said, you're already in the tiger's mouth. Yeah. You don't understand. The head doesn't understand. Too much has been revealed. It's fucking over. Yeah. It's over. You passed that point. This isn't pre-exam. You're past the exam. Yes. Yes. You're going to have a peaceful moment at night dreaming, and it'll be like a moment when you pass away of peace. Not because you know anything, but you don't know anything. Yeah. You'll be resting in the uncertainty. You'll be certain about the uncertainty. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. We did this thing again today. This lady read the St. Francis prayer, St. Francis of Assisi. And he's talking about the higher power and talking to the higher power, whatever it is. And he says, please allow me to bring harmony, peace, service, compassion, understanding, all this. Not one time did he say, please allow me to bring me. No, no, none of that was mentioned. And it's the obvious statement of his is it's through self-forgetting that you're reborn. Yes. See, fact, you are what you are. To be reborn to that in this event, yeah, is by losing interest in self. Forgetting self is essential in this dreamlike scape we're in of duality. Even though the statement is you are already that, it doesn't really trigger much unless there's a losing interest in what you're not. Yeah. And in that losing interest in what you're not, the rebirth is it. Yeah. Rebirth of the same birth, which is not a birth. Yeah. I, you can't go from where we are to nothing. Where we are needs to be negated, and then nothing has never been left. Yeah. I humbly see it that way. I humbly believe there needs to be an application of negation. And then through that application of negation, not only the idea I'm not that, but the finality or the conviction of that can get established here. Yeah. Yeah. Because if you have a sense of what you are, the head's going to claim it. Yeah. Like every epiphany that I went through, it was usually ended by the thought line, I'm having an epiphany. Yeah. Really. There was a space, whatever, and then one thing went across the head. I'm having an epiphany, and suddenly it stopped abruptly because I started. Yes. So sometimes you're going to see the infinite, unbroken event, yet it's going to seem to stop when you start. Yeah. The you. I feel you need to have an understanding of this. Yeah. So that gets negated, and then the infinite is left to be infinite. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't work just walking around, oh, you're a lion, you're a lion, you're a lion, because there's a sheep programming involved. And the sheep programming has gotten quite adept at overriding the fact that you're a lion to the point where you're dreaming as a sheep to have an experience of being like a lion. Yeah. Mm. I have not seen just telling a sheep it's a lion work that well, even though it's a lion. It hasn't. What I've seen work is recognizing that and seeing the programming that you're a sheep. Yeah. So now you recognize I'm a lion by seeing the program of the sheep. Yes. It stabilizes it because the sheep is going to bounce up. And I feel almost every time it bounced up in me, immediately I started looking from the sheep programming. Yeah. And no one had ever talked to me about it. I thought I was just clicking in. Yeah. And then I heard, no, 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 no. You're the owner of the house. That's a fucking uninvited guest. Yeah. And then that was the needed bit of information. It was because I thought the parable was the old lion recognizes the young lion is confused about what it is and drags it over to the water hole and just doesn't say much but puts both their heads out. And the young lion sees the head of the old lion and sees the head of it, and it's not a sheep head. Yeah. And it has that whack that it's a lion. And the parable stops there. But what happens when the old lion leaves and there's no pond? As soon as the lion takes off, the sheep program kicks in and now says, I've just had an incredible lion experience. Yeah. And it goes back to the sheep herd and starts telling everyone, man, you should want to become like a lion. But it's all based on the verification of being the sheep. Yes. It got to be such a point, we've never left this point. I humbly believe if you don't see this, you're looking from it. If you don't see the sheep programming, you're going to be looking from the sheep programming, saying with a very weak transmission, I'm a lion, I'm a lion, I'm a lion. It's not going to have it. Yeah. So here's the one I feel is needed. Just like with the statement, you ever hear of a Zen thing? First there is the mountain, then there is no mountain, then there is a mountain. Yeah. I believe there's a stanza needed before that. I do not believe you start at first there is the mountain. I believe you start at first there isn't a mountain. Yeah. Because your reaction to the mountain is going to be different. You may not even try to make the mountain disappear only to appear again and be super frustrated because you have a knowledge while the mountain is appearing that there is no mountain. This is the point of the message, I feel. It's an undisputable position. Yes, indisputable. That which comes after can't get before it. It cannot get before this message. Cannot. Cannot get there. So first there is no mountain. Okay. Then there's a mountain. A lot of problems in life. Blah, 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 blah. I want that mountain to disappear. I'll do anything. Do I have to climb over it, blow it up, whatever, live over, drive around it? And then I'm dreaming life will be great when the mountain disappears. Then there is no mountain. Wow. But suddenly again it reappears. Then there is the mountain again, holding on the same reality it had at the first point, which is there is a mountain. But if the reality to you is there is no mountain, your response to the mountain appearing and disappearing and then appearing again is going to be completely freaking different. It has nothing, the difference will not have anything to do with the mountain, the appearance of the mountain, or the disappearance of the mountain. It's the knowledge there is no mountain. Yeah. It doesn't say non-duality and then there's something else. It's non-duality, not two. Not a mountain and not the disappearance of the mountain. There is no mountain. Yeah. So, all right. Anyone?
We don't have any hands up right now, Paul.
You don't have any hands up. All right.
No.
The master has come
Oh,
in.
I'm sorry, we do. David Lowe has his hand up now. Hey, David.
Here's the master. Hey.
Hey, hey.
Speak to
Beautiful
Fatso.
cat. Yeah. Wow.
That's her. Yes.
I
Very
see
rarely
him.
seen. This is a very special moment for all of you to see Fatso. She doesn't have Dosh on much. Doesn't come out.
Hmm.
All right, Dave, let's bring it up.
So
Sorry.
it's like I've gotten a better sense, some of the meditations I've been doing, listening to you, that how it's deeper than just netty. It's the real sense of I'm not some of these things. But I think that seeing with the senses, seeing and hearing, but especially seeing. I mean, the activity of seeing something, it must be the second fastest process that occurs in time. I
Yes.
cannot, I don't know, to think that I'm not the seer is just, that's more difficult than anything else to
But
grasp.
you don't have to think you're not the seer. You'll sense you're not the seer. Thinking you're not the seer doesn't work because thinking is an infection. The thinking is a carrier of an infection. Yeah. Yeah. So the thinking is never going to come around and think it's the seeing. It isn't. It's programmed to support the idea of you're the seer. Remember, it's sort of like we're going to the same court. Yeah. We're not getting a new judge. You're going to the same court and you're going to get the same conviction. So it's like if you're coming out of the body identification, it seems impossible that you're not a body. Yeah? Because
Yeah,
the body is programmed to keep reinforcing that there is only a body. Yeah? So this isn't about I want to think differently. It's about there's a knowing differently. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
sure.
Sorry, go in, but I felt that's important to see. All right.
Yeah, really, thank you.
Yeah, I don't think I'm the seeing. I sense I'm the seeing. I think I'm the seer. I don't think there's thinking I'm the seer. Definitely. Now, for me to get counsel, is there a seer or there seeing? I wouldn't go to the thinker of the seer. Because that counsel is going to have a bias already, isn't it? Yeah. This isn't about the seer saying it's not the seer. It's seeing the seer. Yeah. Seeing the claiming of the seeing and the implying of a seer. That's what it's like. It's not convincing the seer it's not a seer. I wouldn't waste any time trying to convince a program to be different. I just don't see it doesn't work. Yeah. Programs don't they're they're set already, you know. There's a program, it follows the program. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't see that's a point. I don't see I can argue my case there. I think you've already been convicted in that system. Yeah. So I would seek counsel somewhere else. Yeah. Like when you meditate, you're attempting to seek counsel from somewhere other than the head, I would say. Yeah. Yeah. And you come out of it with knowledge of the head, not head's knowledge. But you come out with knowledge of the head. And hopefully it can crystallize through the understanding of non-duality to I'm not that. Yeah. And once that gets established, there's going to be a migration of interest and attention which you could not conduct or direct. Self can't get out of self. But now you see interest and attention that was fueling the selfing is going to fuel something else, maybe enrich your day instead of enslave it to some yesterday and tomorrow. Yeah. And you're going to observe all this happening. And you're going to, if you're not there already, you're definitely going to come to believe. Yeah. It's just the way you are, because there's going to be unvarnished observation of that what's true is true and what ain't is ain't. Yeah. Yeah. And you are not you, but you're going to find the final authority where you are. Yeah. You don't have to, you'll know something. You won't have to get it authorized. Yeah. You'll know it in your gut. You know, what's the idea of the Satguru? The idea I have of it is it's internally, it's not in appearance, yeah? So the guru, in a way, is his job is to lead you to the Sadguru, which is where? Wherever you are.
A lot of external side gurus in my history, but yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Can't hear that often enough.
So then I know we're turned off from authority because of the authority that we've listened to, because it's not an authority. It plays one in the head, but there is an authority. Yeah. And you're going to hear a lot of verdicts come down, and you're going to be convinced, I would say. And a lot of things are going to end.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot that you thought may have been lost is going to be easily recovered because nothing has really actually happened. It is. And it's not going to be based or dependent on your effort or thought or anything about you, actually. Yeah. I had this experience tons of times. Yeah. If you don't mind, if we'll stay a little longer, if you don't mind. When I got sober, I saw that I could, my head coming through all those 10-day cocaine retreats had come out with some ability to observe stuff that was making it easier for other people. So I was asked to speak and stuff. And then I was put in a position where I did this thing called a 4th step workshop. And really it was just like something coming through that was so obviously not the idea of me. Yeah. And I remember I came in there every Monday night. I did it for years, like 15 years. If I was in America, I would do these things that were affiliated with AA. And in those 15 years of Mondays, I was in a lot of different physical and emotional and mental conditions. Yeah, and financial and circumstantial conditions, a lot of seemingly bad ones. Yet I would show up every Monday night, and no matter what condition I was in, something came through. So it became obvious to me that which was coming through was before all my conditions. And it's coming through wasn't based on me being in a certain condition. It could care less what my condition was because it was prior to it. Yes, before.
Yeah.
And so every Monday, I'd have like my girlfriend just broke up with me, or I was waiting to hear if I had AIDS or something like that. And you would think all this shit would block the flow of something. Never, never.
That's amazing.
So
That's
a
amazing.
huge misunderstanding was broken, like every week, like somebody's back. And I realized most of my spirituality was me getting prepared. When the fact is, it's best to stay unprepared as this me. Yes? Yes. I was playing God with God. It was weird. So these things were like you learn like a dye changing the color of a cloth. Yeah. You would just be immersed in something and it would be no matter what color you thought the thing was, it wasn't. And it was this color. Yeah. Yeah. Everything was brought back to its original color, so to speak, which was undeniable. And then you just moved on to the next thing. Yeah. Yeah. And here's the next thing. This whole thing got launched by speaking in satsang in AA 34 years ago. I had no idea of any of this. I was just willing to be used, and something used me and continues to use this thing. Yeah. And now ultimately with the agenda, the head having tons of agendas, it has stubbornly surrendered to the agenda of this is the seed assignment. Yeah. So I joke around a lot, but this is serious business to me. I would make an effort to make this commitment. Yeah. And I would hold its importance over most things in my life.
At this point, wow, yeah, sure.
Yeah. So the head wasn't like that in the beginning, but man, it realized it's not going to win this fucking argument. And it's sort of now it just buys cheap shit at thrift stores. Yeah. Then I end up with 55 bags, and then I bring it to a place that works with street people, and now they have a nice bag from Italy while they're in the Tenderloin in San Francisco. And it's really cool, the joy of taking something from Italy and bringing it to the Tenderloin is like the Bowery of San Francisco. Yeah. Hey, I like that bag that guy has, as he hasn't moved from an unconscious posture with the fucking fentanyl. But people need bags. Yes. So yeah.
Cool. Wow. Thank you.
Yeah. And I just come to love all of you in a way. I know, like the AA, Course in Miracles says, there's something else the head has made to be us. You would think there's no reason to be suspicious of it. I mean, I've given it the position to lead me. Why should I be suspicious of it? But we've all grown suspicious of it, haven't we? Yes. Something's going on there. It's Hal in 2001, happening again in 2025. Hal's taking over the mission. All right.
Hey, Paul, Travis has his hand up.
All right, Travis, come on in.
Howdy.
Hey, Travis, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
So yeah, your message has been really resonating with me, and in practicing the negation idea, and in catching myself sort of be involved and identified with what the head is doing. I found that through negating can sort of, once I see it, and negating can sort of like snap me out of it, but then there's another part of the head that almost wants to like claim the negating process
Yes, it's the same
afterwards.
head that was claiming the other stuff.
Exactly. And then that was just like another layer of it. But I feel like the purpose, it sort of creates that space and shines a light on the claiming, hopefully.
Yeah. Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
And in seeing that, it's not even necessarily like you're changing the content of anything.
No.
But you're getting a sense of a certain space that is, I mean, you say it's like prior to the mental content, but just like, I guess that's a good way to say it. You get a certain sense of a space, but the magic isn't even in the negating, because the mind can, that's almost also a sort of mental process, but it can kind of point you to a certain space that is prior to the mental craziness.
Yes.
And then it also sort of highlights that like once you, the sort of information that comes back from that as well, like when the mental process is trying to claim the negating, is that it's sort of out of like secret tricks until you stop seeing it, and then you're in it again. But when you get to that place, there might even be like a little anxiety from the mental state that's almost like a sort of futility that's like anxious. But
Yes, it's
I think
anxious
it's,
because it's on thin ice. Yes.
yeah, because it has nowhere to go.
Well, it's on thin ice also. It's been calling the ice a floor, a very firm foundational flaw, but it's thin ice. Yes, its whole story. Yes, and it's
Right.
beautiful in a way. You just what is the subjective? What's the part of the head that is called the subject? What is it? Subjecting is the object of self, yes? So you as the thing gets critiqued by you as the no thing. Yes? But the you that's critiquing the thing is of the thing. It doesn't think so, but that doesn't make it so.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So it's not two really on a like a plate tectonic way. It's not two. So the objective self, many people get to be, they have an understanding that's not them, but they believe that which is having the understanding is them. But what's
Right.
having the understanding that it's not them is also not you.
Right. Right.
So that's why it's not two. It's not two as a practical. See, they're seeing, and you're putting crutches on the seeing, and the crutches are not two, because the the seeing has been so like funneled through this tunnel. We just need the crutch while the awareness is happening with the crutch of not to, so that we see the the object of awareness and also see the false subject of awareness, because that subject of awareness is of an object. It's yes. It's,
Right. Right.
so you as a subject is in subjectivity. This is a false subject. Yeah. And so this is why it's not two. So you're not the object, nor are you the subject. Wow. Yeah. So yeah. Welcome to the whatever thunder, the pleasure dome.
Speaking
Yeah.
of not to, I found a translation of the Faith Mind poem or whatever.
Yes.
And there's a section in there where he talks about not to, and it's talking about trusting mind. It's very similar to the version that I've seen that it's called Faith Mind, but it's called like Trusting Mind or something. And I thought you would, I don't know if you've seen that translation, but I think you would enjoy it.
Yeah, I have probably, was it by Red Pine or something?
Oh no, it's not by Red Pine, but I do like Red Pine a lot.
I don't know. Whatever the one I've read is enough for me, because I just use it for something.
Right.
Yeah. Because faith mind, if you would categorize, let's say, a teacher called Nisargadatta Maharaj, he was like faith mind. Yeah. He heard from a guru, someone, and he believed that person's trust so much, it was easy to put that trust in the person into what he said, and it was quite an easy, seemingly transference. Yeah, because he wasn't a practitioner for his whole life. He was just had faith in this person. So, and not the person, but the whatever the mind of the person, big M mind. And here's the statement: faith mind or trust mind, because the head we definitely don't trust. I mean, with the most modicum of observation, you do not come to trust the head. You come, obviously, you see that it's a failed system. So they're talking about big M mind, faith in that. And yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
There's
probably
no-
really the source of like the original cause of mistrust, actually.
Yes, and the thing is that mistrust makes you mistrust things that are actually very trustworthy. Not you mistrust, yes, but it spreads the mistrust, which is another having faith in it. Yeah. So it's just like you watch people come into recovery. I didn't trust myself as how far I could throw myself. Yeah. Yeah. There was no discernment about trust in the infinite and maybe not trusting the finite. I only thought there was trust. Yeah. And what I had been trusting in wasn't trustworthy. So it had eroded. Yes. Yeah. And I think that's its purpose in a lot of ways. Because now you finally realize it's not the truth, and then you believe there's no truth, but there is a truth. Not only that it's not the truth, there's a truth in and of itself. Yeah. Yeah. So you can be very untrusting of the head and be completely rooted in faith mind. Yeah. I mean, that's the point. What could be so convincing? Only faith mind. Yeah. So yeah, it's good to see you, bro. Come on over. Your fire's on. Just keep throwing logs. Yeah. Really.
Yeah,
That's what I would do. When I was excited about it, I threw in, I didn't, it wasn't the quality, it wasn't the quantity of the logs, it was the quality of the logs. Yeah. I throw in certain these things like whatever can be perceived cannot be that which is perceiving is truly a master class in its one little statement. It is literally. So, yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good to see you, bro.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Keep on firing. Yes.
Yeah,
Anyone else?
thanks for those logs.
Oh yeah, yeah, no problem. There's an infinite supply of logs. Getting dark here. I should turn on a light. Eh? Yeah, there we go. Thank you. I have my friend here, and he's so quick at responding to the moment. He turned on the light before I could get to the light here. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, Vlad. My friend Vlad is here visiting from Portugal. Vlad, Kathleen, we were all together and down in Joshua Tree. All right, anyone else, or though we're gonna say goodbye?
Yeah, Paul, Esther has her hand up.
Kinda. What?
Esther has her hand up.
Oh, you have your hand up, Esther. Wow, Esther, it's just you're like an apparition. Wow. What? Oh, we're back to Michael Stacy. Oh, here she is. Hey, Esther, how are you?
Okay. Um, what
Let's
you,
move on from how are you? Just hello.
hello.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know where to go from here. The, I, there was thinking this morning a lot about things in about the world that I can't change, and I thought that I was upset for that reason, even though I know I'm not. And then, seeing that that that's not you, isn't you either. So what are you left with?
Here and now, hun. And then maybe go to the refrigerator, get a snack. Hmm?
Yeah.
Worst comes to worst, go out and help somebody. Yeah, honey. Everyone comes there where you are. You've been there many, many, many times, and things happen. Yes? You're like in the middle of a river that's rivering. Yeah, the fear that you've stopped hasn't convinced the river it stopped. So the river keeps rivering. Yeah. You just go along with it, or don't. You're going to be moved anyway, either way. Yeah.
So seeing what you're not is more of what you're not.
No, seeing what you're not is what you are.
But the one
How
claim,
could how could how could what you're not see what you're not? It's not there. It's what's actually here sees what's not there. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So what you are is seeing what you're not. So what you're not is not here. Yeah. You are. In its world of there's where what's you're not is. Yeah. Past and future, this and that. Yes. Hmm?
Mm-hmm.
So right now, get comfortable in the here and now. You can't believe how many chaise lounges will appear. Lazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
You may come to really like it, honey. That drive to know hasn't served you well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I like what you said about the feelings sometimes get intense, and to recognize that there's no feeler really puts a really,
Yes.
yeah.
There's so many reasons why. So a certain feeling claimed by a feeler and the belief in the feeler of being this and that just gives so much meaning. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
There's so many forbidden feelings that you may have that you're going to be tortured for having by the feeler. Yeah.
Hmm.
When you lose interest in the feeler, the categories of feelings gets changed, and yes, the meaning and significance are less lofty than they were before.
Mm-hmm.
You ever hear a song by Radiohead? Feelings, just because you feel it doesn't make it true. Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's
Yes.
good. It's good.
I can't sing like Tom York, but just because you feel it doesn't make it true. Yeah.
Thank you.
I feel shitty constantly sometimes physically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Getting older. Uh, and then there's no period on that sentence. It just trails off. Yeah. I feel shitty. Really, so what?
That's very inspiring.
If it's really severe, I'll probably be moved to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't have I don't have a book of, all right, today 51% of the time I was what I would call feeling good, and 49, maybe 45 feeling bad, and 3 I don't know. It's just more, yeah, feelings come, feelings go. Sometimes I'm feeling physically okay, sometimes I'm not. Uh, but those feelings don't shake the tripod of awareness, What's seeing everything isn't being moved by the feelings, it's noticing. Yes. It's the reactions to the noticing of the feelings is where the head is skating. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. This isn't about stabilizing a case, an event that can't be stabilized. Feelings cannot be, they come and go. They don't have real beginnings or ends. Yes. Yeah. It's like almost a note that you're in a space and then you hear the note and then the note just disappears back into the space. So feelings, there's no like, oh, I have a 4 foot 5 inch feeling. It weighs about 100 pounds. Caught it in the lake of the past and shit like that. It's just there. It's just going. Things are going on. Yes, on and on and on and on and on.
One thing that I got from reading Scardata is that everything is to give it a one purpose is everything is for entertainment. So the feelings, if they're uncomfortable, or the thoughts, if they're whatever they are, to just to come to it with that it's all for entertainment, that nothing's serious.
It's not saying that. He's describing an effect he experienced.
Yeah,
Gonna practice it. That doesn't work.
I see.
Yeah. When you are, see, the head needs constant entertainment. When there's a loss of interest in the head, you may be entertained sufficiently enough moment to moment. Yes.
I see what you're saying.
Just by it. But this is not a call to become something. It's when it's a possibility of what you already are to appear
Yes,
this way. And he was just sharing a possibility of what you already are, how it could appear here. So you
yes.
see, you're not that which demands entertainment, and therefore all these things are coming to you with highlighted because they have a purpose to the head, which is to entertain the freaking head, like drama. People
Mm,
are addicted to drama. Why would you be addicted to drama? There's not that much value in it, but the entertainment value is high. Yeah.
mm-hmm,
So the addiction of the head demands drama about everything.
mm-hmm,
Yes. What would happen if that which is demanding the entertainment lost interest in it? Then the feelings wouldn't feel like the entertained feelings. Don't you see?
mm.
Having a catastrophic feeling every 5 minutes wouldn't be happening. Yeah. It's the head giving the meaning to the feeling. The feeling isn't hitting your shore like a wave. Yeah, it's projected by the feeler is giving most of the meaning to the feeling. The feeling isn't giving you that much meaning. You're being entertained by the meaning the head has given it. And it turns into an addiction. People are observing themselves way too much. Literally. Yes.
Can you say it again? Your experience? So it's an experience of experiencing, and that's experienced as entertainment. It's not that everything is entertainment.
I'm saying, Esther, from my getting to know you, you have a close eye on all the movements in you all day. Yeah. If
Mhm.
you had a calculator, you would probably count the thoughts that you've noticed. And you would, like a Weight Watcher, you would try to come to some kind of condition by weighing how many thoughts you have. Yes, you have that kind of head, don't you?
Sometimes,
I'm noticing you, and you're very serious, and I don't think that serves you well.
yeah.
A lot of feelings are meant to be unobserved. There's tons of them. If you keep watching them, you're probably going to see what you're looking for. Yeah. It's like it's like tying every feeling to another feeling. Yeah. Just have it, have interruptions in the non-interrupted observing of you. Just lose yourself in something. Yeah.
What happens? I lose myself in something, and then the critic comes and says, "Oh, you didn't follow your breath, or you were holding your breath, or."
Yes, I know, honey. I know. I know this illness. I know it. I know it. All I can say is there is a valve that's easily reached by lack of interest.
Mm-hmm.
You stop reaching for it. You stop reaching to try to corral or change or redirect the thoughts. Its loss of interest is in the key, and really the loss of interest is in this idealized thing of Esther. Yeah. And Esther can't lose interest in Esther, but you can lose interest in Esther.
Yes.
Yeah. And I've seen it over years. You've gotten less serious and more happy.
Yes.
Exactly. And it's lovely to sit near the ocean and not have counted every wave you watch break. Yes. Sometimes it's nice just let the ocean be the ocean. It doesn't have to be added up or subtracted from. Just fucking, yeah. This is like this. I really believe the loss of interest in this idea of whoever you are, Paul, Esther, Bill, Jim, Mary, is really the key. And Paul, Esther, Bill, Jim, Mary cannot trigger that key. That's what's going to be affected. It's not going to cause the effect. Yeah. That which you're going to lose interest in isn't the one that's losing interest in it. Yeah. Yes. Yes. You have it in you. I've noticed it many, many times, honey. You fall back on, I'm hungry. I'm just being personal in a way. You fall back into these old habits. They're not yours. You don't have to. You don't have to be the policewoman all day. You really don't. Take a break. Have an extra fucking, slice of bologna on your bologna sandwich. Just tempt that big foot in the sky to drop on you because you'll see it doesn't crush you at all. It won't crush you. Yes? Yeah.
Mm.
Let your hair hang out a little bit. Yeah. Do this. You got it. Uh it's hard to unwind through the winding. if if you're trying to end up at the unwind condition through winding, it doesn't work. Yes. Yeah. What gets unwound is that winding condition. You just let it, yeah. We're tightly strung, some of us. Yeah, too tight. Like Buddha said, remember the story of Buddha about the middle path? Do you remember that? He was practicing a sadhu and starving himself, and he went the extreme version. So he figured that was the way to go, extreme. And then he realized by seeing somebody going down the river while he's starving, that it was the middle path. Yeah, that if you tighten the string on the guitar too tight, it's going to snap, and if it's too loose, it can't play. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the interest and attention needed to be redistributed
Mm-hmm.
in life, and he decided it's got to have a balance. Yes. And he couldn't produce that balance. The best he could do was starve himself in the fucking forest. Yeah. Yeah. So he realized something, and then that became what they called the middle path,
Mm.
where he says any form of extremity or extremeness isn't going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yes? Yes. Yeah. And I hope I've watched it in you. You've changed since I met you. You changed a lot, I think.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, because when I met you, you were like Nurse Ratchet in the spirituality. Fuck. You were like heavy duty, man. I wouldn't want to go up to that window. I wouldn't know what you would prescribe for me. So yeah, and now you're laughing and stuff like this, and it becomes us. Your face looks so much nicer than being frowned and trying to figure everything out. Yes, yeah. Go to an aquarium and don't name the fish. Yes, just you'll go back and say, I don't know what I did, but I feel a lot different. Just see fish, see feelings, see thoughts instead of having them itemized and everything. Yes?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Have a nice day. And if you can't get out, watch something. Watch watch someone else's drama with much better production and much better direction on a fucking movie instead of going over your drama all day. Yeah. Yeah. Not yours anyway, but you know what I mean. Yeah. We love you, Esther. You're a lifetime member of Zen Bitch Lab. And there's there's no woman or man left behind. First of all, I never thought there was anyway there, but we don't let any of our women or men behind. So yeah. Yeah. And here you are beaming now. So yeah, just go with that. Don't go, what did I do to be beaming? Nothing. You didn't do shit. You're just here. We're laughing. You're feeling better. Fantastic. Yes?
Yes.
Yes, there you go.
Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome, honey. Yeah. Hey, I think that's it, for tonight. It's a great note to end on, Esther. Esther. I had the privilege of meeting Esther a couple of times live. Very nice. All right, thank you. Mike Clark. Arrivederci. Steve C., you didn't miss anything, Steve. Don't worry about it. You didn't miss a 13-hour drive home, which should only have been 9.5 hours. It was like an odyssey. It was difficult to get back. And then we had a person that got home super fast and keep calling us, telling how fast they got home.
Yeah, that encourages support.
Uh,
I ended up getting 3 hours sleep because that morning I took my girlfriend to the airport and I was like, I'm going back to bed.
Yes, probably a good move. Yes. And
Yeah.
you can watch the video of this talk.
Nah, I don't bother. I'm not really,
Wait, wow.
I'm not interested in this stuff. I just come here for the entertainment value.
All right, good. All right. All right. Kathleen, always a pleasure, Kathleen. Yes. David Lowe. Yeah. James Parker, nice to see you. Ernie, let the willingness take you, bro. Just go with it. Yeah.
Yes, well, thank you.
When I hear you, I hear willingness, and then I hear the head come from behind. Yes. Let willingness win the day, so to speak. Yes, yeah. Stephen Mack, but having never left. Susan Harris, yes. Joy to know her. She takes care of Zen Bitch Lab. A lot of people here allow, because I don't know, if I was in a homeless shelter, I may not have good Wi-Fi. It may not. And then these Zooms wouldn't work. So, yeah. And here's Amelia. She's here. My friend Vlad, the dog and the cat. All right, Judy Lovins. Judy Lovins, I absolve you from any Zoom bomber or anything the Zoom bomber did yesterday, today, and for the complete future. Okay? You're absolved. You had nothing to do with it. You weren't supposed to stop it or start it. Yes. There you go. We're not thinking anything about you but loving, a loving sense captured by your last name, Lovins. All right, we have Claire and Sydney. Nice to see you, Claire. I'm so happy people from Australia come back because I like to be reminded of Australia because I like Australia. So when you come, I remember my time in Byron and Sydney and Perth and Geraldton and all those weird places. Yes. Heather, there you are. Heather, I got the onesie. I'm not wearing it yet.
Okay, you like it?
I love it. I like the color. Yes.
Good. Did you get your card?
I got the card, the avocados. Yes. I got the whole thing. It's out in, you got some great cards. Yes.
I love
like
them
those.
pop up.
Very nice. So thank you so much. Yes.
I got a lifetime supply of pop-ups for you.
Well, bring them on. I hope every pop-up I get is another year of being alive. Yes. So keep the pop-ups coming. So I pop up. Yes. All right. We have let's see, Ernie. I think we got everyone. We've got Artur, nice to see you. And I can't get to the second page, so I'm just gonna say goodbye to everyone. Mia, thank you, Mia. Thank you. Mia was with us, and I get so much support from Vlad and Mia and Amelia and the animals here, except for the cat. I don't know what condition I'm in with her, but nor the dog actually either. But the two-legged situation is good right now. And I'm just bowled over, really. Yeah, yeah, just very appreciative. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Paul.
Yes. And I'll see you
Thanks,
soon.
Paul.
Yeah,
Good
wear
night,
your
everyone.
onesie
Thanks,
next
Paul.
time.
I'll wear the onesie, yes. I think I'm gonna have to make an announcement and try to play that up. But all right.
Thanks,
And
Paul.
yeah, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Paul.
Thanks, Paul.